Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, coach of the Bronx Beartics with my week 9 team preparation video for 6-Bit Hacks, aka Leo, and the Durham Druddigons. The Druddigons have a very scary team. Let's just actually look at the first two, Clefable and Victini. Oh my god. In any case, I built this team with my boy Tony Flygon. If you guys are new to how I do the team building, basically, we create a team of 6 that can take on any combination of 6 that my opponent wants to bring, mainly because we don't want matchup to be a huge factor. I mean, it already is a big factor in Pokemon, but we don't want it to be a factor in the game. We don't want me to not have prep for Crocodile, and then my opponent brings Crocodile and I lose because he brought it. But that was completely in my control, right? Like, I definitely had outs for that because I could see his team. But in any case, Leo does have a very threatening team with Clefable and Victini, Terrakion, Mega Blastoise, Crook, Shaman, Registeel. Like, I have not named a non-scary Pokemon just yet. Registeel, Druddigon, Sigilyph, Skuntank, Leafeon, and Substrika. He had Swellow before, but he traded that for Leafeon. But in any case, I built this team with my boy Tony, as I said, and let's go over it. So first off, Victini really scared me just right off the bat, and one of the best answers to Victini, especially in Black and White UU, and even XY UU when Victini was actually allowed then, was Snorlax. And I love Snorlax, thankfully I drafted it. This is something that Tony and I have always used for Victini when we were doing the Black and White tournaments that we were doing. And yeah, we decided to bring Snorlax again this week. This time we're rocking the Body Slam, Protect, Pursuit, Earthquake. Very similar to last week's set. Pursuit is mainly because Victini gets out of control. I want to be able to do a little bit of chip damage to it. Same thing with Sigilyph. Though if Sigilyph is obviously Psycho Shift with Will-O-Wisp, it'll be a little bit harder to deal with. But it's mainly for Victini. Victini goes for V-Create. A Banded Adamant V-Create does not 2-hit KO me after Leftovers recovery. And I can knock it out with the Earthquake, but more than likely I can scare it and go for Pursuit, doing a hell of a lot, if not knocking it out if it chooses to stay in, because 2 V-Creates do not knock me out, especially after I Protect. And this also just allows me to live hits from Victini, whether it be Mixed Teeny or Banded. Banded is the one I'm more scared about. I guess Scarf could be annoying, but Scarf is easily dealt with. Like, it doesn't knock out anything on my team, actually, except for Tangrowth. But Scarf doesn't knock out anything on the team besides that. And Bandit is just the one that's very scary. I have ways of dealing with it, but it's just extremely scary to deal with. And I wanted Snorlax as an answer to that, to be able to Pursuit Trap it and deal with it. Snorlax also just gives me a Pokemon that can tank hits from Shaman if necessary. It can tank hits from Sigilyph, Substrika even. And Earthquake obviously hits Skuntank as well as Registeel and Terrakion. Terrakion being a very big threat. We hit a Leftovers number with our HP, max attack, that way we do the most damage with Body Slam, Pursuit, and Earthquake. And then the defense is just so we're not 2-hit KO'd by Victini's V-Create. I ran Protect Snorlax last week, and I feel like this week is just definitely has its use for it. I need to bring it this week. But I really like Snorlax again because it can check Shaman, but more importantly, it checks Victini, which is like the biggest threat. Now, I do want to note that Leo does have a Pokemon that honestly doesn't have really counters. That would be Life Orb, Sheer Force, Druddigon. There's no real switch-ins to it. But I have ways of dealing with it, obviously, just because of its low base speed. Also, what this Pokemon does is it can beat Clefable 1v1 if it gets Body Slam pairs, if it's not Combine T-Wave. And if it's unaware Clefable, I think that's a little bit easier for my team to deal with. So next up, we have Strong Jaw, the Garchomp. This time we're rocking Choice Bandit Garchomp. My opponent's team, his fastest Pokemon are Substrika and Terrakion, which already outspeed anything that I could do. The next fastest Pokemon would be a base 100 in Victini. So we have enough speed for Victini. We ran Choice Band because we can 2-hit KO Clefable. And if we get rid of Clefable and Registeel, I click Outrage. Dragon Claw is there, so I don't have to spam Outrage. This also 2-hit KOs Mega Blastoise. Smacks Crocodile. Rough Skin because Sandvale doesn't really do anything for us this game. And it also is just a great answer to Skuntank, even if it's Sugar Berry. Like, Choice Band Earthquakes can do a hell of a lot. And we opted for Iron Head over, let's say, Poison Jab, for example, because Iron Head is just something that can also, it hits Clefable mainly, but it also does damage to Sigilyph, as well as honestly, Poison Jab could have been used over Iron Head, But this also hits Terrakion as well. We don't want to give Terrakion any free setups. So Iron Head was chosen over Poison Jab, mainly because not only does it hit Clefable, and it can also hit Sigilyph if it's in the air, and if it's offensive, we pretty much 2-hit KO it. We can just hit Clefable and also give Terrakion no setups, and Terrakion is very, very scary. So I'd rather have Iron Head and let Blastoise come in than Poison Jab and let Terrakion set up. I also want to note that if you guys did not pick up the original Drop a Draco hoodie, they have relaunched themselves because you guys asked for them. They pretty much, Teespring put them back up because people kept requesting them, and they're available till Monday. The original Drop a Draco hoodie and shirts. The link is down below if you guys want to go ahead and pick that up. But basically, Choice Banded Garchomp can really clean up versus his team, and I have Outrage just in case I get rid of his Steel types and I want to spam that. And just enough speed to be able to outspeed Victini. Also, the defense investment lets me take Bandit close combat most of the time, if not almost all the time. From Terrakion. Speaking of Terrakion, it is a giant threat, and I needed to run physically defensive Tangrowth. That way we're not too killed by the close combat, not by the Stone Edge. I can even live +2 Life Orb close combat and Giga Drain it back and knock it out after the damage. We have Sleep Powder because Tangrowth does 4 switches. It gets in versus Crocodile. Pretty much Tangrowth deals with Crocodile. Tangrowth can pivot on Registeel as well, and deal with Mega Blastoise unless it has Ice Beam, which it should have Ice Beam. But it's mainly here for Terrakion to be able to sponge those hits. Knockoff just gives an option for weakening Sigilyph if it wants to come out. Also getting rid of Registeel's leftovers, Shaman's potential Life Orb or Choice Specs, Crocodile's Choice Scarf. But also, like I said, Tangrowth also stops a potential Scarf Moxie Crocodile from breaking through my team. And knocking off items, nothing appreciates losing their item. We have Earthquake because that deals damage to Registeel as well as Skuntank. And as well as Victini. And again, knocking off Victini's item, if Tangrowth manages to force it in, would be amazing. It means that Snorlax 100% checks it, so, or walls it even better. But again, Regenerator just so we can get that HP back. Basically going to be pivoting between this and the other bonds I have that could take hits from Terrakion. Terrakion is very scary, very, very scary to deal with. And Tangrowth just gives us an out for it. So we're relaxed because we're obviously running special and physical moves. And then Sleep Powder, I'm not necessarily going to go for Sleep Powder unless I'm like in a position where it's okay if it misses. But if I'm forced to go for it for game, hopefully we hit, you know. But again, Giga Drain is doing almost 70% to Terrakion. If Terrakion does close combat, then Giga Drain knocks it out. And Knockoff just helps with Clefable, Victini, getting rid of Registeel's recovery, Shaman's potential item, and also doesn't allow Sigilyph any free switches. So next up we have Hardbody. Calm Mind Reuniclus, physically defensive, which eats up hits from Terrakion. It can take a +2 Life Orb Stone Edge, eats that up. It can tank hits from Clefable. It beats Calm Mind Clefable because of Psy Shock. And if it's unaware, then the support from Knockoff Tangrowth just helps a ton, and it's 2-hit KO'd by Earthquake anyway. But we have HP Ground as our secondary move because it hits Registeel, Skuntank, and Victini, pretty much the only mons that can deal with it. I guess Crocodile as well, but I'm not going to be using Reuniclus when Crocodile is around. Like, I'll set up when I have the perfect opportunity to. And just HP Ground just hits those all. Whereas I have answers for Crocodile being Garchomp, being the Tangrowth, being Manaphy. Obviously, you can see I did bring that Pokemon this week. So I wanted Reuniclus. It has a lot of potential to set up and beat him. With 2 Calm Minds, none of his special attackers can beat me unless they get enough drops. Skuntank isn't really doing too much with Crunch anyway, and HP Ground is doing a hell of a lot to it. And again, Substrika doesn't really deal with me too well. Actually, between Snorlax and Reuniclus, I think I'm okay versus Substrika. Again, Druddigon is annoying, but I do have Garchomp to outspeed it, knock it out with a Banded Dragon Claw if necessary. And Hardbody hopefully can put in the work. I'll be able to pivot to this whenever my opponent goes for close combat. If he goes for Stone Edge, Tangrowth eats up the hit. Even if it's Banded Stone Edge, it is not a 2-hit KO on Tangrowth. And opted for leftovers on this as well as Tangrowth over like Rocky Helmet or something because Banded Terrakion is a threat. Even Life Orb or even just a Swords Dance variant, and this can definitely deal with that. So next up we have the captain of the Bronx Beartics. We have Manaphy. Enough speed to outspeed Sigilyph as well as speed tie with Victini. We have enough special attack that way at +3 our Scald knocks out Sigilyph without rain, and then just the rest is poured into HP. Basically, this Pokemon is not 2-hit KO by Blastoise. It's Dark Pulse. Its strongest attack it can go versus it. And well, pretty much its strongest attack. Well, I'll show you the calcs right now. Or Sphere as well is obviously really strong, but Mega Blastoise, you all-out attacker, Manaphy. I think that was the custom set. No, it was 172, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 172. And then level 50. I mean, they're the same thing, but you can see the damage. Okay, what the hell did I just do? Technical difficulties. As you can tell, it doesn't 2-hit KO me. It does a lot. It definitely does a lot. And the reason we opted for Tailglow over Calm Mind is because Tailglow just gives us an easier way to win. This outspeeds Crocodile and can beat it. Scald, Burning, Blastoise. With Stealth Rock up, it actually doesn't kill me. And a 2-hit KO me. And what I can do is I can immediately switch into Blastoise, go for Rain Dance with my hydration, go right for rest, and just stall out Blastoise if necessary. And if I get a burn on Blastoise, it's that much easier to beat. And again, Tailglow just gives us that option to actually do damage to Curse, potentially Curse Registeel, to burn Druddigon and 2-hit KO with Tailglow, Scald in the rain. Also potentially burn Leafeon and just do a lot to everything on his team. And this thing also is a banded close combat from Terrakion if necessary. Last member we do have on the team is Agron, and we're running Adamant 44 attack investment. That way we knock out Clefable with Heavy Slam, and also it just makes our Earthquake even more powerful versus Victini and Registeel. We get up rocks. Toxic on this thing allows us to deal with Leafeon, allows us to wear down Blastoise for the Manaphy, and also wear down Victini. If it's Unaware Clef, we deal with it anyway with, again, Heavy Slam. We deal with it, Scald Burns, and we beat it 1v1 if it's Calm Mind. Even Tailglow Manaphy can still beat it. This beats it. We take 3 Flamethrowers. I think that's the max we can take from Clefable. And Calm Mind Ridiculous also beats it. And this also gives us a resistance to Shaman Seed Flare, which is definitely annoying. I'm going to have to pivot around that, but that's just the matchup. I can't do much about that. But this also eats a hit from Terrakion if necessary and knocks it out with the Earthquake after the drops, which is very, very important. And yeah, that's pretty much the team for this week. I like it. I think it's fun. Hopefully, I'll be playing Leo later today. It's Thursday when I'm recording this. This goes up Friday. I'll be playing him later tonight. But hope you guys are rooting for the Bronx Beartics. Again, if you want, you can pick up a Drop a Draco hoodie and shirt. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, friends.